Hello everybody. We're going to talk about early gardening, early vegetable gardens. First you got to pick a site for your garden if you are starting a new garden. And you want the sun, and you want air, and you want nice soil and moisture. You have to have a place that you can water from, that you can reach with your hose. Make life easy so you can be successful with your garden. And when you water your garden, you water it from down low, don't get the leaves wet on the plants. You have two different kinds of vegetable gardens. You can rototill your dirt and create a bed on the ground, or you can go to Menards and get 2x8s and make raised beds. It's the simplest way. They're just screwed together. Mine are 3 foot wide and 6 foot long, and I leave 1.5 foot in between each one so I can reach across half the bed and pull weeds. That's the best way to do it. Now, before you go out and turn your soil and work your soil, you want to do a hand test. What you want to do is squeeze the soil as hard as you can, make a ball out of it, and if you go like this and you can't break it apart and turn it back into clumps, into granular, you shouldn't be working your soil. You don't have enough compost, and you don't have enough maybe torpedo sand. Torpedo sand, you put a little bit in there and that helps it break up like that. I already have sand in my beds, so every year I add mushroom compost or Dr. Earth or Cottonburg compost. Compost, compost, compost. You can't have too much compost. Okay? In the fall, I turned this big and chunky like this. In the winter, froze it and turned it soft again. And then I put a couple inches of compost over this whole garden. This whole garden, I got 2 bags of mushroom compost. And then I'll turn it over and mix it together. Oh, look at that. There's some good eating. Big old worms. That means I got a healthy garden. And then I'll just turn it over, and then I'll leave it because I'm not going to plant anything quite yet today. A little cold. Maybe I'll put some onion sets in. I'll turn it, and then I'll level it all off and clean it up. Now we're going to go back inside and talk about what you're going to put in these gardens. Okay, now I'm in the nice warm greenhouse. I can take off my sweater. I won't take off my shoes and put on my slippers because I'm not in the house, I'm in the greenhouse. Welcome to Hawthorne Gardens early spring gardening. Oh man, every year you get the urge and then you gotta wait. So the main thing to remember in gardening is patience. Because if you're too antsy, you start early. If you start too early with seeds inside, they get really tall and people call all the time and say, what do I do now? So come in, or we'll post this online. This is Bill's gardening schedule, which starts out January and February. You dream and you shovel snow. We didn't have much snow to shovel this winter. And in March, you seed some lettuce and you buy seeds. You can seed peppers, eggplant in March. They take a long time. And as soon as they come in, you can plant onion sets. I love onion sets because you can put them in a 6-inch pot at the bottom of the pot and fill it up with soil. And in 3 weeks, you get salad onions. I like the overruns. We sell overruns, which are the larger number 2 size, which create a bigger salad onion. And when you plant them on the bottom and you bury them up to here, you bury them 6 inches deep, you get more white on your onions. So that's what the overruns are good for. You don't want to grow an overrun on the top of the soil to grow into a big, large onion, because it won't make a solid onion that'll keep in your house for the winter. A lot of people take and plant either onion plants. In about 10 days, we'll have onion slips, and those are from Texas, and those you plant in the ground about 1 inch deep, and that grows a nice, big, hard, keeping onion. I think our favorite variety is Candy. You can grow some smaller dried onions by buying the small onion sets. Take the larger ones and grow them deeper for onions, salad onions. Take the small ones and just poke them down 1 inch in the soil for bigger, drier onions. Plant them about 3 inches apart, and you'll grow a bigger, dry onion. I gotta turn my radio off. We're working hard here. Okay, April 1st, you can seed your tomatoes. April 1st to April 15th is plenty of time. Okay, on the back it says maturity date, 70 to 90 days. That's from when you put the plant outside. Okay? We sell these really nice small size seed flats that you just add water, and those little pods in there swell up to about 1.5 inches tall, and you put 1 seed in each one, and 12 tomato plants, usually enough for everybody. If you want to grow different kinds, you plant just some of this pack and then some of the other pack, and then seal it up real good and put it in your crisper in your refrigerator in a baggie, and they'll keep. So some of the other things you plant now are radishes. You can plant onion sets outside. You can plant peas outside. You can just put pea seeds outside, plant them in the ground. Lettuce, plants you could put outside now. If you put seeds outside, they're going to take a while to come along, but they'll work too. You could do seeds. We have all different kinds of lettuces. One lettuce you want to start early in your garden and get it done before it gets hot out is head lettuce. It gets too hot here in our climate, and if your head lettuce is still in your garden, Mr. Slug likes to crawl inside the head. Then you're not happy about growing. So a lot of people grow leaf lettuces like romaine or bib lettuces, where they pick it off the side until it becomes a head, a little head, and then they eat it that way. Okay, carrots, direct sow, outside, maybe a couple weeks I'd wait on carrots. We're at about April 1st right now. You'll see on my schedule. Cabbages for sure can go outside. There's red cabbage, there's broccoli, kohlrabi, one of my favorite, cauliflower. Kale can definitely go outside right now, April 1st. And everybody's favorite, and Matt's, Brussels sprouts. Can't have too many Brussels sprouts. What you want to do is possibly, we always used to push the date and have people, because they wanted a garden, and we always said, oh, put your broccoli out. But what we found out is if you get the broccoli out now, it vernalizes it. It puts it through a false winter, and then it tends to flower. So plant it outside too early, I'd wait till about April 15th. And then you'll get a nice head of broccoli instead of it trying to go to flower so soon. So that's my broccoli story. And then be careful with extreme cold. If it snows, a couple inches of snow on this stuff, you're okay. But if it doesn't snow and it goes back to 25, you might want to take a bed sheet or a beach towel and cover it up for the night. But then get it open the next day when the sun's out, they'll perk right back up. You just don't want them to freeze hard. Here's another one. You gotta shop early for this because it's a popular item. It's celery stalk. That can go out early too, like in the herb family, you can put parsley, cilantro, chives, oregano, thyme can go out pretty soon because they like the cold weather. Another way to grow onions is from seed, but that should have been started in January. So that's a little late to grow onions from seed. And you'll never grow a salad onion like you can grow from a onion set, like you can't grow from seed. So if you miss that window next January, if you want to grow your own onions. Okay, let's see. So cedar plants, I just showed you all the plants. I showed you some seeds. If you want to do cucumbers, all the cucurbit family, cucumbers, melons, muskmelon, watermelon, cucumbers, pickles, squash. That's all really well if you start them inside in a peat pot, either this size or the next size bigger. Peat pots, because they don't like their roots disturbed when you go to transplant them. This is on my schedule for starting around April 20th, okay, because they're going to grow fast. And you don't want these 5-foot cucumber plants in your house in May, 1st of May. You want to wait till May 15th when the nights get warmer, because they're very susceptible to cold. They don't like it when it gets cold. Okay, and then there's direct seeding, which goes directly into your garden. You can go now, again, with radishes, carrots, peas, green beans. Green beans and sweet corn goes directly in the garden. You don't transplant the best, so you just plant the seeds directly in the garden, you know, about May 10th. May 1st will work. You can push the envelope a little bit, and hopefully we don't get a late snow in May. And then, and we have all the cold crops now, or cole crops. It's two different ways of saying it. The cole family is the cabbage, cole, C-O-L-E, or cold crops, lettuce, peas, cabbages, broccolis. That all goes early. Some of some of these things will be done by the time you're going to put your tomatoes out. Cold crops take a lot of fertilizer out of the soil. So if you plant tomatoes or peppers, maybe where your kohlrabis or your kale is later on, you've got to make sure you feed your garden. And after you plant your garden, say 2 weeks later, you'd want to start side dressing with Dr. Earth. It's an organic tomato vegetable food, very simple. Just side dress your plants, and you can make a tea out of it too in your watering can. Oh, potatoes. Oh, potatoes. Potatoes, seed potatoes, certified seed potatoes. You're going to get exactly what you see on the package. Now, if you have potatoes growing at home and they have little eyes on them, have at it. They work. They're not certified, so you don't know what kind of potato you're going to get. I like to cut my seed potatoes at least in half, about 2 or 3 days, 3 days before I plant them. It's called healing. They will dry, and then when you plant them, you plant 3 little halves in a hill, and then make your hills about 18 inches apart, or plant them all in a row about 6 inches apart. Depends how big your garden is. Okay, some people are planting potatoes in a bag. I plant potatoes in my garden, and as they grow, I put a collar around them, and then it gives me more room to hill the potato as it grows. I would wait till about, the April 20th or so to plant these. These will sit, and they'll dry, and they'll stay nice. You won't have to worry about them. Just don't put them down, put them up so they dry. And then you can, I actually start them a little early in a tray. And if you get too many that you don't want to plant that many, then just eat them. They're just as good to eat. Let's see what else I got over here. If you go online, check out our new list of Bill's Special tomatoes. Everybody knows about sun sugar. This year we went back to Opalka for an Italian paste tomato. Okay, we got 4 different colors of cherry tomatoes. And we're just seeded our first lift of tomato plants today, March 30th. Some people are growing their tomatoes in this bag because they don't want to make a garden. This bag works great. And use what we like to sell for pots for organic is Fox Farm. Fox Farm Ocean Forest is one of the favorite for the medicinal use plants, what we used to call super tomatoes. But now you can mention the word, and this is the best. This is what they all use in when they bump up their tomatoes and their super tomatoes. Oh, and the nice thing about the cool weather is there's generally not too many insects yet to worry about. And all your plants will grow great. And by the end of May, middle of May, let's call it the end of May this year, it's going to be warm, and that's when you plant your basil outside. That's when you plant your peppers. Don't let your peppers get cold feet, because if their roots get cold, they tend not to do very well for you. Right now, just find a pot in the garage, call us up, pick out what you want, we'll put it in a box, you can pick it up at the front door, and you can smell these when you come. I wish you could come back in the greenhouse. It'll be soon, and we'll be back at work for you here, and you can come in, but we got everything for you. If you can describe it to us on the phone, we'll get it out to your car. I want to thank everybody who has been shopping with us for the last 4 weeks over the phone and helping us through this trying times. And stay safe, stay healthy. See you next time. Perfect.